Good evening, Artemisia, the known world, and everybody else who just happens to be here with us. Welcome to Masked Ball, held in the beautiful Barony of Arn Hold. Their Majesties, King Daman and Queen Veronique, most gracious rulers of the best Griffin's Land, best ever, I tell you, invite you to join them today in their court. Their Majesties would invite Her Excellency of Arn Hold to join them.
Your Majesties, does Her Excellency Dame Varia Goff have permission to enter your court?
As long as she doesn't touch anything.
That's what the screen says.
That's true.
That's true.
Thank you, Your Majesties. I'll join your court.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Their Majesties would invite their Excellencies of Laurel to join their court.
Your Majesties, Your Excellencies, good populace of Artemisia and of the virtual known world, there was once a man who stood upon the shores of the great loch. He fought the dread brine shrimp and emerged victorious, risking all to defend his land. There was a woman whose glory and radiance inspired all around her. She served with her heart, giving all to bring peace and greatness to her people. Their paths run together, and today that path is here. Give joy, friends, for before you is Raven and Saja, Baron and Baroness of Laurel.
Your Majesty's permission to join your court.
Of course. Thank you.
Their Majesties would invite their Excellencies of Sentinel's Keep to join them.
Your Majesties, Your Excellencies, before you now comes Morgan and Kaylin, Baron and Baroness of Sentinel's Keep, the Rock of Artemisia.
Your Majesties, we request your most humble and beautiful permission to join your court.
Please do. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Majesties.
Their Majesties would invite their Excellencies of Bronzehelm to enter their court.
You do not know.
No.
Majesties, Highnesses, Excellencies, and nobles all, before you from the utter east of Artemisia comes the mighty Killian, whose very name causes the mountains to flee, and the fair Penelope, whose radiance dims the stars. Quake in awe at the brazen Baron and Baroness of Bronzehelm.
Majesties, we request permission to join your court.
Well, her definitely.
I think they're a package deal.
Yes, welcome to the beginning of the first court after your wonderful investiture.
Mm-hmm.
Please join us.
Thank you, Majesty.
Populace herein opens the court of their Majesties. Pray, make yourselves as comfortable as you can. Your Majesties, the populace awaits your word of wisdom.
Thank you for joining us this evening. It's been a wonderful day. We've had a day full of activities and wonderful people making sure that this event has went off as well as it has, and your wonderful prize has concluded. I hear that we have so many entries.
So many entries for Queen's Prize. It was so good to see all of the art that everyone is working on, and they came from all fields. That was really, really nice to be able to go through all of that and see what everybody's been doing. I did hear about a crib tournament. I'm not allowed to play. I don't take losing very well, but I heard it was awesome. I know there were some dice games being played, and it was quite the busy, wonderful day. So we're really glad that you can join us this evening. We have some business that may be of interest to you, and should be a good court.
Yeah, we have things to do, so let's get this started.
Thank you, your majesties. Their majesties would call before them the autocrat for today's mass ball, Her Excellency Antonia.
Hello, everyone. So I think we had a great event today. People did some dancing. People did some gambling, playing dice, had some cribbage.
Yeah, we'll announce that later. Yeah, they were in the tavern drinking and playing dice all the way until the tavern closed, and they booted them out at 5. So good on Sir Gabe. He did a great job. All my support staff did a great job today, and I touched very few things.
That's good to hear. I think we lost the Herald. There she is.
No, I just thought Her Excellency still had words.
Well, it was the autocrat's turn, so I wasn't.
She's also an excellency. That's why I thought she was still speaking.
Not
Okay.
really. Honestly, I was the puppet autocrat. My Baroness said, hey, this is what I want to do. So would you autocrat so we can do everything I want to do? And I said, okay. And she's like, sign here. All right. So I'm totally the puppet.
Well, in either case, Your Excellency Antonia, I believe Your Majesty, 3 cheers for the puppet autocrat of today's fantastic mass ball. Vivat!
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 You have a sign.
Thank you, Your Excellency Antonia, for a fabulous mass ball today. That was amazing. And for everybody who participated. Moving right along then. Your Majesty, not only have you've mentioned this before, but I believe we had a fantastic Queen's Prize today.
We did. We
had some amazing displays of work from the kingdom, and if it pleases Your Majesty, I would like to call before you Maestra Magdalena Ramberti, our Kingdom Minister of Arts and Sciences, to speak about the display.
We are familiar with her. I think we've seen her before.
Once or twice.
Just occasionally.
Just sometimes.
Queen's Prize was amazing. 37 people entered. Humongous. It was fabulous. We had a great chat with people breaking off, and it was just very organic and amazing, and we all learned a ton. If you haven't looked yet, go to the thread and look at all the amazing pictures and documentation. I cannot stress it enough. It's wow. I'm blown away. You guys are all way more productive than I've been. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to do the university stuff here or if we've moved it to some other time though. I'm good. Okay. I also am very excited. I get to announce some degrees for our university. We have for the lector, which is having completing 5 credits in 4 out of the 5 categories in sciences. We have Sven Bratsnikov and Lisa Okama, which she's from the Outlands, also received her lector, which is the 4 out of the 5 colleges in sciences. For the prior, the degree of prior, which is 4 out of the 5 categories in the arts, we have Gerlinde Scrivens, and again, Lissa of the Kingdom of the Outlands. For teaching in 6 colleges, which is huge, is our very own soon-to-be Mistress Praxilla Taurina. I know how to pronounce that. We also have the philosopher degree, which is someone who has gotten 5 credits in all 10 colleges. And that again is Lissa from the Kingdom of the Outlands and Michelle of Harris upon York. So congratulations, you guys. That's a huge undertaking. And that's all I have for you today.
Your Majesties, good populace, for the Minister of Arts and Sciences for our fair kingdom, bringing beauty and wonder to the known world where we just do it plain better. Vivat!
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 Love the vivats. It's perfect. Majesties, just checking. I believe, as this is mass ball, that Her Excellency Varia, Baroness of Arn Hold, might have a tad bit of business in today's court.
Absolutely.
That'd be wonderful.
Oh, there she is.
Okay, when we said don't touch anything, that didn't mean everything.
It's hard to yeah, not touch some things.
Right?
So anyway, we're first gonna do our bard only has a little bit of time for right now, so we would like to call our current bard forward right now, who we just saw a brief glimpse of just a moment ago. So we call forward
Beatriz de Sabretta. 1 year ago, Beatriz.
She's here.
She's here.
She should pop back. Can I read? No? You can't read yet. And Fia may or may not have the picture of the scroll I sent. There she is. So
1 year ago, Beatriz did come before us in the depths of winter, and in the midst of our revelry, lift her voice in joy with a cunning composition of her own crafting, thus transponding us to the heavens above in our enjoined gaiety. Further, while serving as our champion of the bardic arts, did she continue to console and raise our spirits in a year of plague and discord, further supporting the good people of Arn Hold. For these acts do we now call her forward to receive her justly and duly earned Cirque d'Honneur, done by our hand on this January 23rd, Anno Societatis 55, being the year 2021 in the Gregorian reckoning. Varia Baroness.
So this is your cirque.
Oh.
It is a Viking wire weave for you to have, and I'll be doing drive-bys tomorrow. Look at it. Look at that. And would you be willing to sing the song you won with?
Yes, I would. It's horrible, but it's been a year, so if Your Excellency would allow me to run and grab the lyrics really quick, I will return very shortly. Or would you like to
I can chit chat about other things, and when you come back, you can say, "Hey, I'm back."
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much for this honor, Your Excellency. I am so excited to be here and very, very deeply moved by this honor. Thank you so much.
Well, when she comes back, you'll all get to hear why, because the song she sung for us was, you're supposed to be running and getting the words.
Okay, I'm running.
Yeah, it was. So today we enjoyed the Queen's Prize. So apparently when you're Baroness, you get to actually have a favorite and you get to say who it was. And so I just wanted to say, I loved what Baronages of Sentinel's Keep. She did a hood, which she's like, this is the first piece of garb I've made. And I'm like, well, it's the perfect thing for these Zoom times, because really you only have to wear it from here up and it looks fabulous, and she did a great job. But I see that my bard has returned.
Hello. This, unfortunately, this works best as a sing-along, which is very difficult to do over Zoom. So I'd say feel free to join in. I'm just going to assume that you're all joining in, but probably keeping yourselves on mute just because it gets a little intense the more people you have trying to sing along to a thing like this. I think The only thing you really need to know is that in the lyrics is my very great honor given to me by Her Excellency Antonia, which is my green belt, which I'm still so excited about. So that'll kind of explain the one thing. So, all right. Right. When a green-sashed maid dared to drink along with queens and duchesses, along came this song. When a champion fights while holding your hanky, the last thing you want is for them to be cranky. And if you get them garbed, besilken and spangly, but come into court then sullen and hangry, at feast you come to dine, not listen to them whine, think back to the lists and remember in time. Toss your fighter a pickle, oh good Artemisia, oh good Artemisia, oh. Toss your fighter a pickle, oh good Artemisia. Excuse me, I've got a baby pushing on my lungs, so. But you need have no fear, a bread and butter spear will strengthen and arm them and bring them good cheer. And you may find it meat, a kosher or a sweet, a wee cornichon, they'll achieve any feat. Before they become ill, a gherkin for their fill, a sip of Saint-Conjubin or tart garlic dill. To all who are cohort, inspire and support. Remember your fighter, hours before court. Toss your fighter a pickle, oh good Artemisia, oh good Artemisia, oh. Toss your fighter a pickle, oh good Artemisia, oh. Thank you all. I will be transcribing these and putting these up. Please, wherever you feel like sharing it, please do. It's gotten some good laughs and I'd like to see it move on. So thank you all.
Thank you so much. Oh, the Queen wants to say something.
Actually, I do. I wanted to just say that you performed that wonderfully. I'm sure, as you can tell by my face, pickles might be my least favorite thing in the world. So I just wanted you to know that that had nothing to do with your performance. You did a great job. But as soon as I heard it, I was like, come on, pickles? Oh. So that was the whole, I just wanted to explain, you know, like, why did the king think that? No, you did great. You were wonderful. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. And we will see you later during dinner. Talking about the event, we had a great, I mean, the Queen's Prize was amazing. The amount of people and the amount of talking we got to do and the breakout rooms were fabulous. I did drop into the cribbage tournament and I lost 4 out of 4 and did a terrific job. I only got skunked once, and that was because my opponent had the best hands ever and I did not. And then dropped into the gaming room, as I already mentioned, and Gabe and several others, including Her Excellency Isabeau, were still dicing and drinking. So make sure you do not take your horses home. I didn't get a chance to drop into Ursula's class, but I did see it went for quite a while. And hopefully some people learned some new things. I think we need to call forward Malkin or her representative, Amadi May. I believe she was here today and as usual, volunteered to teach classes yet again. Is she here? Can she turn on her camera maybe? I know she's here. I saw her. Malkin, Owen. I just need Malkin. Well, we're going to read it anyway because she's here somewhere. So,
the people of Arn Hold are some of the greatest people across the 7 seas. They are welcoming, generous, supportive, and all around kind of awesome. However, they are not complete. It takes more than just those from this esteemed barony to make the dream, trademark, exist for everyone. Here in Arn Hold, we greatly prize those who visit our shores and step onto the quay with the same warmth and support that we pride ourselves in here. These people we like. They are Alcis Amici, friends of the moose. Thus, Baroness Varia Goff, 12th Baroness of all Arn Hold, within her right and power, would recognize Malkin Allardson, who sometimes may veil herself as Maudie May of Marshfield, for her willingness to step forward and offer to share her time and knowledge in Arn Hold. As such, she is recognized as an Alcis Amici, friend of the moose. To this writ, we set our sign manual on the 6th bell of the 23rd day of January in the year of our society, 51 being 2021 by other reckoning.
So, the scroll was by Braden, in case you couldn't tell by the teeny tiny. The words are on there twice. The vellum was handcrafted by a friend of his, Guinevere. She's from the Outlands. And I just wanted to thank you, Malkin. You have always come and visited our barony. Even before you were Baroness, you came and taught classes, you helped with stuff, you helped with the every single plague event, and did make the last one quite entertaining. I'm sorry to the rest of the known world that we in Arn Hold have a problem with the plague. So thank you. I will get this to you in the mail. I also want to mention that the previous scroll was done by His Lordship Angus, and I thank him greatly. So 3 cheers for our newest Alcis Amchi, our friend of the moose.
Vivat!
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 Did she type?
Vivat! Thank you, Malkin, for everything you do for our barony. Just the last announcement, 15 minutes after court or 7:30, whichever is later, is when we're going to begin our bardic dinner. So prepare your tables, put on your garb, turn on your camera. We'll sit and talk, and when the bards are singing, we'll mute ourselves so we can hear the bards, and we'll be choosing our new Bard of Artemisia. So thank you. Thank you, Your Majesties. It has been a wonderful day. Thank you for letting me host this event.
You may choose your Bard of Arn Hold. We have an Artemisian Bard.
Okay. I choose Amanda.
Oh, there she is.
We found her.
All right. Okay.
Speaking
It's a
of
hard-
bards of Artemisia, Your Majesties, Your Excellency Varia, no, Her Excellency Bard of Artemisia, Mistress Amanda, has arranged some fantastic musical and bardic performances for us this evening. Is that correct, good champion?
It is always my pleasure to highlight the skills and talents of our amazing Artemisian bards because, well, we do it better. Just saying, all of you known world bards, I totally own and recognize your mightiness and greatness, but we're Artemisia. Tonight, I would ask that, or I sent out a call requesting bards that would be interested in performing tonight. And the very first one that had expressed an interest was Lord Ramon. Lord Ramon, we sit all tense and excited, awaiting to hear your story. Oh, and Fia, he's promised it won't scare you this time.
You have asked me to tell a story, and I am excited to tell you one. You see, I have been visiting Santa Fe, and among the conquistadors in that area, they have told us of legends and stories. You see, in the far, far mountains, there lies a sleeping giant. There, the rocks and the cliffs appear to be a sleeping warrior. And I am told that there is a legend that they share among the Nuchu people, which you may know as the Ute people, about the sleeping warrior. You see, before there was Artemisia, before there was Edenveld, before there was the West, before these lands which we live in were as flat as a mesa, a table stretching from sea to sea. And on this land there lived the people. But also in this land there were demons and monsters. And they would prey upon the people, striking them down, harming them, hunting them, treating them as if they were nothing. But there arose a giant, a warrior, a person who cared about the people, and he fought against the monsters. Taking arms against them, he clashed with them, and where he threw them to the ground, great mountains sprang up, and where he knocked them away, the earth split into cañons. And as he pushed them, hills, rivers formed, and he fought, and where their blood fell, the rocks turned red. And today we can see this great battle all across our land. But the warrior was wounded, nothing fatal, but something that would take rest. And so he laid himself down to sleep. And it was as if a great spirit wove a blanket over the warrior. And there we see it in spring, a blanket of green. The summer, a golden blanket, one of fiery orange as the autumn comes. And in the winter, the blanket turns to white. The warrior waits far in the south of Artemisia, ready to help us should we need him. Ready for if the monsters come back, as if the time before returns once again. So Artemisians, we are guarded to the south, but we too must guard in the north as well, and be brave and strong and worthy of the giant warrior who lays there sleeping. You have asked for a story, and I hope that was not too much to bear. Thank you. Thank you, Artemisia.
Vivat.
Good populace for the wonderful story that has been shared with us today. Vivat.
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 Your Majesties, I believe their Excellencies of Lochsallen would like a moment in this evening's court.
Pray heed the words of their Excellencies, Raven and Saja, the Baron and Baroness of Lochsallen.
Yeah, can you turn our camera back on?
Yay! Your Majesties, if we may address your court for a moment. Hi, Artemisia. We are super excited to have been able to participate today. There were so many cool things that people tried that was new and different, and I love that, or we love that. We do have one announcement that we'd like to make if we could call someone in.
Their Excellencies call forth Lord Virgil.
Greetings, Your Excellencies. Greetings, Your Majesties. If I may address the populace before us. Thank you very much. Upcoming, we have defenders. As we wait out this time of separation and we begin for this time of togetherness, fighters, make ready your arms and armor. Battle may yet loom before you. Artisans, prepare thy crafts and thy wares. Gamers, prepare thy dice. The backgammon boards will be calling to you. Bards, the courts request entertainment. We must know the current situation of the great demon dodecapod. So for all of those who are present, please save the date. February 27th will be Defenders Tournament.
Thank you. We are really excited about seeing how we can put together Defenders this year, especially coming up with ways that we can choose appropriate defenders without being able to fight. So we're super excited to see how it goes. We have heard news, though, that there have been sightings already of the devious demon decapod lurking about. Some have said that they have even seen the devious demon, but lurking behind Her Excellency as she travels throughout the shops in the kingdom, though we have yet to be able to catch them on film. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellencies of Lochsollen. Your Majesties, their Excellencies of Sentinel's Keep would beg a few minutes in this evening's court.
Pay heed to the words of Morgan and Kaelin, the Baron and Baroness of Sentinel's Keep. Here opens their court.
Good evening, Your Majesties. Good denizens of Artemisia, thank you so much for having us. And thank you for a wonderful event. No real business before us. We just want to thank everybody who supported the artisans of Artemisia. It was a terrific display. I enjoyed going through and looking at the pictures of everybody's progress. Just amazing work. It is very humbling to see so much talent in our kingdom.
It was beautiful, all of it. We enjoyed it all.
The conversation in our breakout rooms was terrific. We had a good time. It was a great event. Thank you so much. That's truly and honestly everything we have to say tonight. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you, Your Excellencies of Sentinel's Keep. Your Majesties, I do believe that given the extraordinary work that went into today and some of the things that happened today, you have business with 2 members of your populace.
Yes, please.
Their Majesties would call before them Her Excellency, Mistress Juliana Atwater, and Maestra Magdalena Ramberti.
Hi, ladies. How are we?
Ready for food, but that's not going to be for another 2 years.
Probably not. No. Welcome to court.
2.5, somewhere in there.
We feel your pain for years. Trust me. We got you. Well, I've had the privilege to speak with both of you ladies about today's Queen Prize, and I know you have been working tirelessly for literally months, getting together all the technical stuff that goes with this, getting lists and sponsors, sorting everything out, which is immensely appreciated. I was very glad to hear about your last minute save from the gods of Zoom as they blessed you in your endeavor. But the fact is it takes just a ton of dedication, and that is something that you ladies have in spades and have given and given from the very beginning of the epic time of the pandemic. We have been very thankful for your support and your kind words and your hard work, tireless hours, whether it be with the university, with the Queen and Princess Prizes, just supporting the arts community in a fantastic fashion. And as such, we wanted to give you a little thank you from us for all your hard work. So that's why, Miss Fia, can you see it? You see what this is?
I can. I mean, it looks good on it.
So this is the Gratia. This is the Thanks of the Crown. I don't know if we introduced it in our kingdom just a couple weeks ago. We rolled out our first one. This is being done all over the known world. This is for what we have come to lovingly call our pandemic warriors. These are for our people who keep our kingdom running. Because yeah, we get the big shiny hats, but we are more than aware that it takes everyone, and for the extra dedication and the work, it's a way to recognize and say thank you for all your hard work above and beyond what we could have even hoped for. Anything? Nothing?
No, you got it.
Okay, well, he says I'm good then. So thank you very much, ladies. We will have these for you. There's Miss Bia, she's our premier. But it's a known world thing. They're not all calling them the same thing, but they are being given across the known world. So you're part of a very small and elite community.
Just to, yeah, like Your Majesty said, just a way to say thank you for making sure that we keep going through this time of plague and isolation. So without you guys, we would be in much rougher shape.
Be drawing pictures on rocks and mailing them to people.
Right.
So thank you for saving us from ourselves.
Thank you
Your
very
Majesty, good populace, Your Majesties, for these two wonderful women. Magdalena, come back.
And she's like, oh, I'm out.
Yeah, she's like, I'm out. Just you sit there. For these two wonderful ladies joining in the ranks of COVID warriors everywhere. Vivat!
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 I love it.
And there's the shrimp now.
Thank you.
Now you can go, Magdalena. There you go. I wanted her to be here for her vivats. That's important, right?
It is.
Yes.
Vivats are important. Majesties, I do believe your Bardic champion has arranged for yet another fantastic, delightful entertainment for our evening. Mistress?
Yes, good mistress. Your Majesties, we have another of your former champions who has asked if he could perform for the populace tonight. Tiernan the Bard has been one of my favorite bards. First time I recall meeting him was singing songs that brought me back to some of the very first events that I ever attended. And then he went on to amaze me with period work and period artistry and instruments that he made to such a degree that I have become something like the RCA dog whenever he's performing, you know, just with my ear cocked and listening intently. And so, Tiernan, thank you for your willingness.
Hello. So this is a very old one for me. This is one from Jed Silverstar, who's one of the very early bards of the society, the only one that ever actually created a vinyl record of SCA's music. And this is one of his songs, one of his funnier ones. Said Merlin wise, oh, Ort, my boy, be ever aware of women's wiles. Conquer page and prince alike, while demons hide behind their smiles. Be wary lest one of them snares you, beware of innocent prey. Be wary lest one of them snares you, be wary of Morgan Le Fay. Morgan, Morgan, Morgan Le Fay. Morgan, Morgan, Morgan Le Fay. When Arthur grew to be a lad, before he wore his crown, before he held Excalibur, before he won the king's renown, who led him into her chamber? Who led young Arthur astray? Who led him into her chamber? None but Morgan Le Fay. Morgan, Morgan Morgan La Fay. When Arthur heard his table crack, when night fought night within his hall, Guinevere was in disgrace, and Camelot began to fall. Who's the scoundrel with Mordred, right in the dark of the day? Who's the scoundrel with Mordred, bastard of Morgan Le Fay? Morgan, Morgan, Morgan La Fay. Morgan, Morgan, Morgan La Fay. Alas, my son, what have you done? Why have you torn your father's dreams? Why have you so disgraced his wife? Said Mordred, I'd have mother queen. And Mordred picked Scarlet with Scarlet. Your queen is a harlot, I say. And Mordred picked Scarlet with Scarlet. Compliments Morgan Le Fay. Morgan, Morgan, Morgan La Fay. Morgan, Morgan, Morgan La Fay.
Good populace for Tiernan the Bard, our former bardic champion. Vivat!
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 Gosh, that was a fantastic song, Majesties. I do believe that their Excellencies of Bronzehelm would like a moment in this evening's court.
Absolutely.
Herein opens the court of their Excellencies of Bronzehelm.
Fia, we need video. There we go. Yay! All right. Good evening, everyone. I hope everybody's had a great day. I know we've had a wonderful time ourselves, and we don't actually have any real business before your court this evening. I know we have our virtual Scola event that is coming up soon. So keep attention out for that. It'll be posted eventually once we figure out when and who's doing it. So, but we're just happy that we could be here with y'all, and we look forward to doing more as we go along. Thank you, Your Majesties.
Hello, Excellencies. I will absolutely say this to everybody. If you don't turn off your own camera, I do it for you, and that means you have to ask for permission to have it back on.
I did turn it off.
He's new.
No, I know. It's okay. It's okay.
I just blame his night. That's all.
It is, and I will say, I also blame his night. No, I will not do that.
Right? Exactly.
It's this guy.
I'm aware. I will say though, good populace, good baronies, good everyone. That is a security measure in Zoom that I have put on so that if in some weird way we end up getting a really weird Zoom bomber, we can quickly turn their camera off and they can't just turn it back on. So that is actually one of the security measures we have for that. So sorry, not sorry.
Not sorry.
Nope, you're fine. It's all part of the process. We're good.
Majesties, I do believe Her Excellency Mistress Amanda, champion of the Bardic here in the Kingdom of Artemisia, has secured one final performer for this evening.
Oh, hooray. Do it again.
Okay, I can do that. In fact, this evening, I would like to sing a song that I find very poignant and apropos for this particular evening. Now, once upon a time, I think as Lord Ramon referred to it as the before, there was a term, a phrase, which was used long before the Barony of Lochsallen usurped it for its own glorious ends. But that was referring to someone as being a duck. Now, a duck in historic terms would be somebody who can be talked into doing things. So that's just to give you a little bit of background, that this song is not referring to anything from our current Middle Age. Well, it is, but it isn't, but it's not from Loch Solomon. The song was written by Master John Inchingham. When I was but a fledgling, a great bird said to me, be a peacock or an eagle or a pelican if you please, for one is blessed with beauty, the second has the power, and the pelican is revered in every rookery and bower. But I was young and couthless, and cursed my fate and luck. I can't change my plume, 'tis all for doom, for I am but a duck. So I said to myself, self, what would you rather be? And I answered myself, self, a peacock's life for me. For if I were a peacock, an artisan I would be. Yes, at feathering nests I'd be the best, with pomp and dignity. I'd build and craft all day. I'd put my talents on display. I might preen and crow, but all would know what humble eggs I'd lay. But I lacked skill and talent, just a drinking drub mad stuck. I can't change my plumes, 'tis all for doom, for I am but a duck. So I asked myself, self, what would you rather be? And I answered myself, self, an eagle's life for me. For if I were an eagle, a warrior I would be, and perchance I'd win the crown, and all the birdies would bow to me. I would don the griffin crest and puff up my warrior's chest, and my arriere I'd gleefully look down on all the rest. But I am tame and timid, without grit or hero's pluck. I can't change my plumes, 'tis all for doom, for I am but a duck. So I said to myself, self, what would you rather be? And I answered myself, self, a pelican's life for me. For if I were a pelican, a magi would I be. All the wisdom of King Solomon would the flock expect of me. I'd serve sooth without a flinch. Each dilemma would be a cinch. Aristotle in a bottle would my brain be in a pinch. But my mind was quite muddled, my skull full of motley muck. I can't change my plumes, 'tis all for doom, for I am but a duck. So I asked the great bird, what is your secret, please? And he kindly answered, duck, there is no secrecy. We're confounding borrowed feathers, comrades in quackery, peerage glories transitory, souls that strive have consistency. Though folks call us now great birds of art, warfare, and wise words, yet we're only spoon-billed dreamers in a web-foot wonder world. Work hard, fledgling, be tenacious. Young yearning wings find winds of luck. Faith may change your plume, 'tis not for doom, for we are all but ducks. Faith may change your plumes, 'tis not for doom, for we are all but ducks.
Good populace for our birding champion, the one, come back here, the wonderful Mistress Amanda, Her Excellency, Bard of Artemisia. Vivat!
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 Thank
Thank you for, as always, making us look good in our choice of our Bard of Artemisia every time you do anything.
Appreciate it.
Can I go now, Fia?
Okay.
Oh dear.
I mean, you know, Vivats are important.
Yes.
Oh, Your Majesties, good populace. It is that time. We have some very important things to do this evening, Your Majesties. If it is your will, may I proceed?
Yes.
Please do.
Thank you, Your Majesties. To recognize prowess upon the field of combat, the Society created the Order of the Chivalry. To acknowledge exceptional service to the Society, Thus was created the Order of the Pelican. For those whose prowess and skills are in the arts and sciences, in Anno Societatis 2 at 12th night, at the Crown of the West, they created the Order of the Laurel. Members of the Order of the Laurel are those that inspire others to create beautiful and authentic work by teaching and by example. Their Majesties at this time request an audience of the following individuals. Karin Isolde Clothilde von Katzenberg, Yelisvita Katlin Savrasova, Anne de Junis, Robert de Fletcher the Duelist, Robert Dispenser, Brian Anthony Uriel Tarragon, Meg Davenport, Agnès Caniano, Yrsa Iversdottir, Mikhail the Varangian, Raphael the Rogue, Jillian of Bub, Laurelin of Brandovan, Casimira Yalyani, Adenheit Mer Siobhan Ninunin, Alessandra Raffaella Di Luciano, Trygve Grabier Olsen, Nicholas Alejandro del Antono, Yafan Fastaldi Harafdottir, Juliana Nicklachlan, Rebecca Chatterton, Kaylee McCaird, Morgan DeAntioch, Sarah Thomason, Kian Hoffman F. Deinrisi, Corisande Berg, Eleanor McCarth, Edward Drachenfield, James Ulrich McKellar, Jacqueline DeBear, Rowena of Avalon, Courtney Cesara Almy, Jürgen von Lohenberg, Agnes of Whitby, Pasha Starling Mayfair, Laure von Vecta, Lynette Huntington, Tiernick McPherson, William Somdeville, Cortland Sterling Mayfair, William Wild, Beatrice Carmela Marcant, Armand Lamort, Denise of Amberley, Heloise Debec, Guillaume de Rapier, Ellen of Coffinbury, Floki Lambison, Connor Tryggvason, Carl Braden von Soberheim, Jadi al Ishvahani al Smartiania, Albreda Wolfkeeper, Niccolo, Osandria Elspeth Gabrielle Dubet, Antonia de Alessandria, Wilhelm von Adolsheim, Yasmin al Rakasa al Aliyayi, Yofir Connor's daughter, Mary Amanda Fairchild, Agnes Sinclair of Wick, Constance de la Rose, Varia Goff, Bianca de Ravenna, Isabel Grant, Juliana Atwater, Adney Deardahl the White Wolf, Daria de Salamanca, Evelyn Inyan Uliam, Bethany of Windermere, Anise of Penguin, Brian Barnum, Sumaya Bit Suleiman, Hildegardis Philip Wolframi, Jacqueline de Rondonvier, Conrad von Crixen, Bjorn Hrafferson, Bengta Rolfsdotter, Elspeth McBain, Serafina Basso, Esther Bat Baruch, Leah Dispenser, Bronwyn Morgan, Heidi of Côte de Ciel, Claire de Lacy, Fiametta de Trastevere, Brocave, Tamsin Sutherland, Marcello de Donanici, Elias Tiger, Engelin von Foxridge, Bartholomew Hightower of Canterbury, Sarah von Feuerbach, and Magdalena Lucci Ramberti, and all other members of the Order of the Laurel not previously invited.
Just hearing that list, it's definitely some of my favorite people in the SCA, and we miss you all. Thank you for those of you that are here. The members of the Laurel are examples of artistry and skill in our kingdom and our society. They are teachers and crafters of our dream. Months go by as we realize one such example is missing from their ranks.
Their Majesties request at this time the presence of Her Excellency Praxilla Taurina.
Your Majesties, Your Excellencies, good assembled populace of Artemisia and around the known world. The true measure of a scholar and artist is everything that they do. I bring before you now someone who has been tagged in Arrow's flight for service twice. Twice at Griffin's Heart. 3 times at Queen's Confidence. A White Phoenix, a White Duck, a Crystal Heart, an Oleander, a Gratia et Comitas, awarded arms, a golden pillar, and a golden sun in splendor for their service. They've been tagged for arts in the province of Arrow's Flight. They have been the Bard of Arrow's Flight 5 times. They have been the Arts and Sciences Champion of Arrow's Flight 3 times. They hold a quolibet as a former Bard of Artemisia. They are the current Arts and Sciences Champion for the Kingdom of Artemisia. They are a lector and a prior and a philosopher and a fellow and a senior fellow of the University of Artemisia. They hold a griffining candle from the Barony of Griffin's Lair, a white lark and fawn's anime from the Barony of Lochsollen, a griffin's eye, a golden maple leaf. They are a key cross and a baroness of Your Majesty's court. Coming before you now, bearing arms awarded and granted, and soon to be patent, or a chief pale potent, I bring before you Her Excellency, Praxilla Taurina.
Your Excellency, as we have spoken, it is right and just that you attend us this day. Before you can truly contemplate the question we put before you to enter the Order of the Laurel, you must be free of all bonds.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Sorry, unmute yourself.
Varia, hold up. Okay, touch the button. There you go. If we don't have some levity in here, I'm going to cry. So I'm sorry, guys. This is just how we're doing it.
So many years ago, I was on Facebook trolling along, and I saw a post that said something about, oh, my husband's mad at me because I'm out here grinding this piece of rose quartz down into a head to make for my Zimby. And I went, oh my God, I need this person who is crazy up at 2 o'clock in the morning, outside her house, maybe inside her house, grinding down rock to create something to please be my student. And I think I started a campaign right after that. And every time I ran into you, I'm like, want to be my student? Want to be my student? Want to be my student? And finally, I wore you down. Took you much longer than Bronwyn. And you said, yes, I guess so. And then you taught me a lot, and I learned a lot from you, and I followed your escapades and all the new things you did and all the things you continue to do. And then came the university, which you'd already been teaching at. But you kept doing more. And I'm like, I want her to be my apprentice, not just my student. So I kept bugging you and bugging you and bugging you. And then on a quiet camping event, you said, fine. And Conahart reached over with a green placard for me and gave it to you. So you had no takebacks. I am so proud of everything you have done and everything you have become, the things you have done for our university, for our SCA as a whole. Thank you. And though I am not wanting to do it, at this time I do sever my bonds with you, and not as friends, not as teacher teachee, because oh my God, we both have so much to teach each other and to learn and to grow, but only as an official student, as an official apprentice. For you have definitely grown beyond me. Thank you for letting me be a part of your journey. Your Majesties, she is free of our bond.
Hi. As you have not only proven your mastery time and time again, we would only ask others to affirm your skills and worthiness at this time.
Your Majesties, speaking on justice, the Honorable Lady Perwer Virch Owen.
Come on. There we go. In current times, justice is referred to more often in a legal context, but in ancient Greek culture, it was viewed in the context of morality as a vital trait of one who possessed good moral character. Plato regarded justice as the true principle of social life. As part of his vision for an ideal society as portrayed in the Republic, justice involved everyone making a specialized but equally valued contribution to society. He referred to justice as the mother of all other virtues, which kept them in harmonious relationship with each other. It involved the moderation between selfishness and selflessness, and was what created harmony in a community. The modern concept of justice has evolved to include the promotion of equality and fairness. To respect the nature of anyone or anything is to be just to them. To impair or destroy that nature is injustice. Justice is now seen as the morally fair and right state of everything. As a character trait, it means that one treats everyone the same and in the way they themselves would like to be treated. It also describes the establishment of wholeness where brokenness once existed. Our dear friend and role model Praxilla regularly demonstrates this character trait in the kind and selfless acts she performs regularly to help and serve all people that she encounters. She will gladly use her artistic skills to make beautiful items for others, regardless of their social status. And she will then happily teach them how to make such beautiful things. I believe that Praxilla is an exemplary example of justice.
Speaking on the virtue of wisdom, Her Excellency Mistress Casimira Yalyani.
There is knowledge and there is wisdom. Many of us have knowledge. We can recite facts to figures. But putting all of this knowledge to work is what leads to wisdom. And wisdom is what I have seen in our candidate Praxilla. Part of some peerage ceremonies include the words to come and to go, to speak and to be silent. And those are characteristics of wisdom. And Praxilla demonstrates those perfectly. Thank you.
Speaking on largesse, Magnifica Malatesta Simonetti. She is unable to be here this evening, but we have prepared this for you.
Your Majesties, my name is Magnifica, Her Excellency Magnifica Malatesta, and Her Excellency Praxilla has asked me to speak on her largesse. Largesse is defined as bestowing money or gifts on people. Since I first met this lovely lady many years ago, I have witnessed her giving nature. She gives freely of her precious time, knowledge, and materials. She shares her knowledge through teaching classes one-on-one or in a classroom setting, or directing you to the best places to find your research, whatever you are researching. She has been many times a largesse coordinator, a role which she excels in, as she is not only uses her exceptional talents to create gifts for royals and nobilities to give out, but she also teaches other people and encourages them to do so as well. Because of her love of heraldry, she has helped many people get their devices registered. Many of us have something that she has either made or provided the materials for making. I believe she will continue to do so, and I wholeheartedly endorse this decision. Thank you, Your Majesty.
Speaking on the quality of faith, Your Majesties, Duchess Tiana Nikoyman. You're muted, Your Grace.
Well, it was a good entrance, but now you don't get it. Your Majesties, Excellencies, and all good cousins of the known world, I have been asked to speak of faith for our dear Praxilla. And it is known that faith is often spoke of in a theistic kind of way, where we discuss faith when we refer to a greater power or some ideal that we must strive toward. But it is also important to know that other words to describe faith are acceptance and hope, belief, loyalty, confidence, truth and truthfulness, and conviction. Your Majesties, these words, all of them embody faith, and all are embodied in this good woman. Not only does she have the faith and the conviction and the heart to give so willingly of herself, all of her knowledge, her experiences, her talents, and her dream that she shares freely with everyone that she meets. She does it safely behind the Zoom cameras. She does it in person. She finds the people who are in need and helps them find their dream. And in doing this, she has allowed everyone else to develop a faith in her that wholeheartedly wants me to express to you that she needs to be in this order. I love you all.
Speaking on the quality of hope, Dame Bronwyn Morgan.
Your Majesties. Thank you, Tiana. I was not going to cry. Okay. Your Excellencies, good populace. I'm Dame Bronwyn Morgan, and Her Excellency Praxilla has asked me to speak about the virtue of hope. Since Prax is all about the research, when she asked me to speak, I immediately started looking up the virtues and the counterparts of their seven deadly sins. And of course, hope is not one of the heavenly virtues with the counterpart of a deadly sin, despair. Hope is one of the three theological virtues, along with faith and charity. Hope is described as the desire of something together with the expectation of obtaining it. Yes, hope. Sorry. Prax has wanted to become a member of the Order of the Laurel for a very long time, but the heavenly virtue of hope posits that one will obtain one's hope with God's help. My dear friend doesn't necessarily follow the path of the Judeo-Christian mindset, so a theological virtue is probably not the best course for discussing hope with this setting. So I turned to an older version of hope, the Greek myth of Pandora's box. We have all heard the story of how Pandora, a very curious and somewhat prideful woman, opens a jar. There was a translation error a long time ago. It's not a box, it's a jar. And released disaster into the world. But at the very bottom of the jar is one more thing. El Peace, or hope, is still around. The version I remember most clearly, the first version I heard as a child, hope flies out of the jar and makes all of the things gone wrong better. Later in college, in my Greek mythology class, this version of hope was replaced with a long debate about how hope was being trapped in the jar to keep it away from mankind. Or is hope worse, one of the worst disasters ever been released into the world? Hope to keep mankind continually trying to achieve their dreams, even as it continually is beaten down. So again, this is not what I wanted to say about my friend's years of hard work to achieve her goal. Prax's motto is at speas infracta, yet hope is unbroken. Her motto sums up everything about her. She continues to research everything. She puts that research into practice. She shares her successes and her failures with everyone who gets close enough to listen. She daily fights the demons that say that she's not good enough and nobody cares, so why bother? So on this day, I say to you, you are good enough. You do matter. And I wholeheartedly support the elevation of my friend. And my hope for you is that as you are elevated, this is everything you hoped for. Thank you.
Speaking on the quality of loyalty, Mistress Malkin Allardson.
Your Majesties, Your Excellencies, assembled populace, I am Malkin Allardson, and I have been asked to speak on loyalty. Now, loyalty is a noun, a strong feeling of support or allegiance. Colloquially, it means we're all in this together. When we talk about loyalty in connection with peerage, we are typically referring to those qualities that encourage cohesiveness in a group. Prax has, through her generosity of time and spirit, encouraged cohesiveness of her local group, Eros Flight, in her area, the south of the kingdom as a whole, and in fact, the known world. I was first introduced to Prax many years ago at a court where everyone who had been a recipient of clothing she had either made or made possible to stand. It was a lot of folks. Later, when she and I were sitting enjoying one of our weekly coffee and world domination planning sessions, I asked her why it was so important to her to share her talent to clothe folks or to make sure that folks were properly clothed. And her response was, so people will feel like they belong. Now, Prax has served for many years as an officer in her local group, and folks know the exchequer job. That's often a really tough job to fill. To help keep her group in legally functioning status, she served as exchequer long after her initial warrant, and several other warrant periods had expired until another individual could be found to do that work. When there was a lack in another area, that of Herald, Prax made it her business to be available so that the needs of that office were attended to. Her loyalty to her group has been constant. On a more broad stage, Prax has been sharing her talent throughout the known world, not only in her research, but also in many other areas. Her loyalty to the kingdom, most especially in the area of research, has shown a very bright light on our kingdom. Even in the known world stage, her loyalty has been to Artemisia. You can look it up. For example, the Society 50th Year Celebration, Prax made cue cards and led in the singing of the Artemisian song. But her loyalty to the SCA that shows her light most brightly. She provided transportation so that folks could attend events. She provided fabric and directions and research and helped folks so that folks could be more properly clothed. She filled positions in groups so that more folks could participate. All of these things she has done out of a sense of loyalty to the SCA, to her kingdom, to her group, to all of her friends. She has shown by her actions that we are indeed all in this together. Your Majesties, I wholeheartedly support her elevation to the Order of the Laurel.
Speaking on the quality of humility, Lord Khalid ibn Ibrahim al-Basir.
I was told that I would not be cut for time, so I'm going to wax as philosophically as I want to here. I think I've earned it. Though I'm generally loath to embrace the cliche, I did in fact start by looking up the definition for humility. As a lover and a student of language, I find just as much interest in the origin of words and how they travel through time. The root of the word humility comes through the Latin word for ground, humus. As it relates to this chivalric virtue, it was often paired as a foil to pride, which is honor before men. Conversely, humility is honor before God, to understand, despite all your worldly status, exactly where you stand in relation to the divine. The 13th century Catalan polymath, Ramon Llull, wrote at length about chivalric virtues on the topic of humility. Quote, "If you proud knights would vanquish your pride, assemble within you courage, humility, strength. For humility without strength is nothing, nor may it hold against pride. As a knight, you must have strength to command men, but it must be matched with humility, the ability to see men, from your closest lieutenants to the lowest squire, as men of value themselves. A good and effective knight understands the concerns of his soldiers because he has the capacity to come down to the ground and see them at eye level. I certainly have a bias when it comes to extolling the virtues of my wife, but I can't think of a more appropriate one to encapsulate her than humility. Time and again, I've watched her reach out to the lone person in the corner on the outskirts who is forgotten or unheard, and invite them in with warmth to take a seat at the table. She sees their value often where it has been overlooked. She sees herself in them and genuinely aches for their dream to be as realized as any other person, from prince to pauper, those starting their journey to those on the throne. The contemporary poet A.R. Emmons highlights this quality well in this excerpt of a poem describing a quest to find the lowliest thing. I said, what is more lowly than the grass? Ah, underneath a ground crust of dry burnt moss. I looked at it closely and said, this can be my habitat. But nestling in, I found below the brown exterior green mechanisms beyond the intellect, awaiting resurrection in rain. This is the foundation of her work as a teacher, the ability to look in those cracks and crevices, find a way to elevate the populace, the kingdom, the society at large to greater heights. That within every person there lies dormant beauty and talent, and it is our obligation to water those seeds. It's the foundation of her own journey of self-improvement, to challenge herself, to learn new skills, to strive to reach the ideals of what the dream can be, and to ensure that her knowledge is given without grudge, unsparingly, to anybody. Though humility is often placed opposed to pride, there is a key distinction to be made. The humility is fundamentally rooted in confidence and self-assurance. In order to truly give to others and see them on the ground at eye level, you must first have comfort in your own ability to provide something of value to them. The act is anchored in a personal knowledge of your own worth, to look at others and their worth, to reach down and lift another up to an ideal they can aspire to be. I've told my wife many times before, if I had one wish for her, it would be that she could see herself, even for a brief moment, the way that others see her. I hope today she gets a glimpse, that vision of herself. Those of us here today come to show you, with our immense pride on your behalf, a place of status that you belong. We have chosen to reach down from where you put yourself near the ground and elevate you to the position, to position that anchor in its proper place so that you may better leverage and elevate the rest of us.
Speaking on the quality of courage, Maîtresse Germain Jambert L'Innocent.
Greetings, Your Majesties, Your Excellencies, populace of the known world. Please excuse me, I am crying from what he just said. Excuse me. In my time in our society and during my many travels, I had witnessed a wide variety of courage on and off the field. Some were loud enough to stop people in their tracks, while others are so quiet they almost pass without a witness. In my years of knowing and befriending Baroness Praxilla, I have not only witnessed but also experienced her courage. In the virtual realm, Prax is one of the first Skadians I personally knew who had the courage to be open and honest about her mental health. It takes great courage to persevere when one's demons not only whisper, but scream to quit. She may have stepped away a few times, but she's always returned when she was able. Going hand in hand with that perseverance, Baroness Prax has shown great courage in her educational journey within the University of Artemisia. Her countless hours of attending and teaching classes, not only within Artemisia, but throughout the known world, has made her name and her project, Model Book Muse, a household name in the art community. But the act of courage which I personally experienced was when she approached me at an event several years ago. She walked up to me and said, "Here, I think you're awesome, you're doing good things, I made this for you." And then she quickly shoved an applique satchel in my arms before she hurried away. I was completely shocked because I wasn't even sure if we had ever had a full conversation before that encounter. After getting to know Her Excellency better, I came to realize just how much courage it took for her to approach me and perform that small act of kindness. Her courage changed the entire course of my life within the society. Her quiet act of courage that day renewed my faith in our dream and inspired me not to walk away. Your Majesties, Your Excellencies, populace, especially Praxilla, you are an excellent example of quiet courage. Please never doubt that, my friend. As my being here today is a testament of your courage. Thank you, Your Majesties.
Speaking on the quality of temperance, Mistress Taurina Tuscalian.
Sorry, I'm crying. Your Majesties and nobles of the court, I've been asked to speak on temperance. sorry, I've lost everything I wanted to say, but temperance often means self-restraint. And Prax, she has always exemplified this in all of the virtues that have already been discussed. We had many late night conversations discussing whether breadth of knowledge was better than depth of knowledge and the qualities of each, and came to the conclusion that the breadth of knowledge, you could never be accused of excess, because you never took one thing to excess. And her breadth of knowledge is astounding. And it's amazing the number of different topics that she has knowledge on, and the number of people that she has helped on their journey to just discover new crafts, new sciences, new arts, new research areas. I've always been just impressed and astounded by her ability to help others in that. One of the other phrases that's often used with temperance is to know oneself. And that is something that really stuck out to me when I was preparing for this. And that is that Prax really does know herself. She knows her strengths, her weaknesses, her flaws, and she is who she is, and she will always be honest with you in that regard, then that she knows herself. And this recognition this evening is really just, it's overdue. And it's a beautiful thing to see her strengths and her contributions recognized in this way. I once told you that at your elevation that I would be there with bells on. And I want you to know that I do have my bells on the trim that you made for me. So anyway, thank you for this opportunity, and thank you.
Speaking on the quality of mercy, Mistress Amanda Dispenser.
Your Majesties, Your Excellencies, good people of the known world, I have been asked to speak today on the virtue of mercy. Now, mercy is the virtue of grace and compassion, the willingness to move forward with kindness and love and acceptance in spite of the past. The ability to extend this grace to others is rare in our world and stands as a shining beacon of what is best in our dream. From the very first moment that I met Praxilla, she has exuded this virtue of mercy. Because remember, its companion term is compassion. And no matter the demons that she has fought, they do not stop her from loving and giving. Her words are always kind, and she always seeks to see the best in others and their hopes and their ideals. And when someone is hiding, she seeks to draw out from them that which makes them great, and she succeeds. Both in private and in public, she gives her love and extends that compassion and mercy to everyone. To everyone. Your Majesties, you have heard so many of her virtues extolled by voices much stronger than mine. But let me add my voice and assure you that Praxilla is a peer worthy of this recognition. And I thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Hearing these good gentles speak on your behalf has affirmed our decision, and we now offer again that which is your right to accept. Is it now your intent to accept admittance to the Order of the Laurel?
Yes, Your Majesties.
As I say, that's the correct answer.
I was told by several people that I needed to have the correct answer, Your Majesty.
Exactly, and we knew you would. In times long past, those who would receive great honors would be washed in preparation. With this act, we do not wash away that which is Praxilla, but rather prepare you for the great work as a peer of the realm.
The medallion is an outward symbol to all that you are a learned lady, a teacher, and one of great skill and artistry. Remember, as you don it each time, you carry with it the responsibilities and duties as an artisan of our kingdom and the known world. While we may not pass it among the members of the order, we can offer to share their wishes to you.
As I said, this medallion we will personally give to you the next time we get to see you in person. As is the judgment of the Order of the Laurel that you are fit to join their ranks, we are resolved to create you a member. At this time, we are prepared to hear your oath.
Give your word now that you will observe, preserve, and conserve the statutes, privileges, and customs of this order.
Y prometo.
Do you pledge to keep the peace of the Academy, to lecture within our society for at least 1 year, and to strive for greater knowledge and wisdom, mindful that with wisdom you shall surely grow?
Y prometo.
Will you
I
promise,
promise.
Your students do likewise?
Y prometo.
Ad hec et ad alia sufficium magisterium responsa. This is enough for us to consider you a master.
Then thus we confer the license to teach as a master.
Thank you, Your Majesties.
Universis et singulus hec presentus vidituris aut lecturus aut legi auditurus hoc privilegium doctortavis ordinis Laurel Praxilla Taurina ARM Majetabilis Daman et Veronique tribunt honore virtuesic gratia hoc diem vicissem tertium January quinquagesium quintus aliter bis millesimo vicesimo secundo temporis vulgaris. To everyone and singular who these presents will see or read or hear read, this privilege of a doctorate of the Order of the Laurel upon Praxilla Taurina, their Majesties Daman and Veronique, bestow by grace and honor and chivalry on this day, the 23rd of January, Anno Societatis 55, otherwise 2021 of the Common Era.
We Damon
And we Veronique.
on the ideals of justice, wisdom, largesse, faith, hope, loyalty, humility, courage, temperance, and mercy. Do name you a laurel of the society in the great Kingdom of Artemisia. Please rise. Didascola?
Didaskalos.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Didaskalos. Praxilla. Taurina.
Good populace. For the newest member of the Order of the Laura, Didaskalos Praxilla Taurina. Vivat!
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 Vivat! Thank you, Your Majesties.
Thank you.
Thank you to our newest and most wonderful pair. We kept it together?
Yeah, everybody need biggest congratulations to the newest member of the Order of the Laurel. Can we all take a moment, just a second, just right? Sure, everybody understands. All ugly crying over here. Congratulations, good member of the Order of the Laurel. For those of you at home, that scroll, beautiful, was completed by her good mistress's mistress, Dame Variagoff. Your Majesties, I believe we have one last thing to do before we go with your final words, with your permission. Earlier today, our Bardic champion did kind of nudge me a bit and asked if there was ever going to be a time that I would possibly sing, being a former Bardic champion of your kingdom. And I was like, hey, maybe when we're done with this whole running court thing, I will do that. But this is definitely for Mistress Amanda and Your Majesties, if I might, for Her Excellency Antonia and Lord Khalid. Dear populace, please join in with me at home. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Your Excellency Antonia and Lord Khalid. Birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Your Majesties, with that, final words for the populace or anything else you would like to share today.
I would like to thank everyone who participated in this court this evening. I'd like to thank everyone who spoke for our newest pair, and every one of them that tried to get us to ugly cry on camera. You almost got it. Soon as we close this up, we'll get that worked out. Thank you so much. One of the things that I do like about how we have to do things now is that this is something that she can go back and look back on for years to come. Because I know years down the road, when I try to think back to my peerage ceremony, I can remember bits and pieces, but I'll never be able to piece it all back together in my head. So that is one of the highlights, I think, from being in the community the way we are at this time. Thank you, everyone. Your Majesty.
Thank you for joining us. There's way too much going on for too many mundane announcements. We'll get some of those out later. Be safe, be kind. There's an awful lot of ugly still. And hopefully that'll be calming down soon as well. We miss you all horribly. And each time we get to see more and more of you doesn't make that any better. We just miss you more and more. And with any luck, we'll be able to see you all very soon.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone who's here, for making this even more special. Because especially in these times, we need a little bit more special and wonderful. And I know, at least for us, we all provided that today. Thank you.
Good populace. Once again, congratulations to Her Excellency Praxilla, newest mistress of the Order of the Laurel, Mistress Juliana and Mistress Magdalena for their induction into the Gratia Corone, and everyone who participated today at Queen's Prize. Remember, the Barony of Arn Hold competition will be held presently after court. Please join their excellencies and the Moose Lands in having fellowship and dinner while listening to bardic stylings. As the words of their majesties have intoned today, be safe to one another, be kind. She didn't say it, but I'm going to say it. Don't lick your friends.
Thank you.
Herein closes the court of their majesties, Daman and Veronique, king and queen of all Artemisia. Long live the king. Long live the queen. Long live these sovereign lands of Artemisia. Vivat.
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 Artemisia.